It's summer went by fast. Feels like we were just in spring ball, and I'm very excited. Guys have worked hard. Players have had a really, really good summer, and obviously we've had a little bit of separation from them. So it's fun for us to all get back together and put all the work that we put in this off season and get everything gelling together.
Well, how do you feel the group has grown since spring last time we saw you guys?
Well, we're going to find out, here these next couple of weeks. Obviously, I felt like the group as a whole, improved from practice 1 to practice 15, and now, basically getting into training camp, and in the first couple of weeks, our execution should be a reflection of the work that we've put in between spring ball and now. And I think our guys have had a really good summer. Obviously doing a lot of stuff on their own as a team, and guys meeting together as groups. And the neat thing about our group is, we got a couple guys that have played a lot of football. We have a couple guys that are new to the room, and all these guys work together. Veteran guys are helping out the younger guys. So I think, to me, the uniqueness, and there's other groups obviously on our football team that all do the same thing, but the thing that really stands out with the guys that I'm around on a daily basis is just how much they help each other, how much they pour into each other. I think that's a reflection of the culture that Coach Riley has built here, as far as our guys, putting the team first. So that part for me as a coach is a lot of fun, seeing the veteran guys taking the younger guys under their wing and really helping those guys out.
You talk about the veterans and bringing the younger guys under their wings. When you see how much talent you have, how do you incorporate that in and try and balance out the playing time?
Yeah, well, that's why we practice. Obviously guys are going to be competing for snaps. And I think the biggest thing for each guy at this stage is you're competing against yourself, okay? Where were you at, last spring? Okay, where are you at right now? Where are we trying to get to? So I think it's really important for those guys to make sure that they have, in a sense, tunnel vision. And okay, how do I get better each day? And obviously, if you're doing that as a player and you're a talented player to begin with, and you're doing those things, the results, the repetitions, those things kind of take care of themselves. So I think for myself and for the players, that I'm around on a daily basis, it's more just, okay, let's focus on each day. How can we get better each day? And I think if you get to that point, the rest of the stuff will take care of itself.
And you have some crossover between special teams and the inside wide receiver group. Mm-hmm. How much of that plays into the practice time and in the film room and kind of getting the guys, on the same page?
Yeah. Well, I think we, special teams is something that we place a pretty heavy emphasis on here. And you look at the guys that are in my room; those guys can do a lot in special teams. Obviously. Some of the guys are going to be called upon to be returners, but some of those guys too, they could be the frontline guys and kickoff return. So they're all, the thing that I'll say about that group too is they're well-rounded players. They'll block you. They're not just going to be out there just running routes and catching the ball. I think our receiver group, inside and outside receivers as a whole, they all take a lot of pride in, okay, I'm going to be, I'm going to have an edge on the perimeter too. So those kind of things carry over into special teams, and some of the things that you're asked to do in special teams from a technique standpoint carry over into some of those things that we do in the receiver room. So I think they go hand in hand.
Whose idea was it to bring Rayleigh Brown into the group?
Well, I think it was a collective group, and I think for Rayleigh, it's obviously going to be some learning process, but he's embraced it. And, at the end of the day, football is football, and our objective is to always get the ball in our playmakers' hands, however you do it, whether you hand it to them, whether you throw it to them. So, Raleigh's adjustable.
Same with Deuce Robinson coming into the receiver group instead of tight ends. I guess, I don't know, maybe bounce back and forth, but what was the kind of thought process there?
You just look at Deuce, and he's a tall kid that's athletic, that can run, and obviously he's got a multiple skill set. So. However his role plays out, obviously time will tell, but certainly he's a kid that is going to, for us, provide some matchup difficulties, hopefully for our opponents.
There's different opportunities, right? Inside receiver, you could be a small, shifty guy, or kind of a bigger guy that's more like a tight end that's kind of pushed out there. How does that work as far as different matchups go, and how to, coaching them up a little bit?
Yeah, this offense has a lot of versatility to it, as you guys have seen. So even, you know, some of our inside guys in certain plays could line up outside, and some of our outside guys in certain plays could line up inside. So, you know, we're always going to have a starting point, you know, and that's where you have the two different rooms. So guys have different starting points, but as far as what we can do with those guys, you know, this system allows them to be pretty interchangeable. And just, again, at the end of the day, when you look at each play, it's like, how can we position our guys, regardless of what room they start in, how can we position our guys and put them in a place where they can help us be most successful on that given play.
Yeah. As far as you, second year, obviously the circumstances, you know, getting the job last year was you know, unfortunate.
Yeah, it
but
was.
How comfortable do you feel now that you're going to, everyone's back on the staff and you're, you know, fully part of everything?
Well, we just have a tremendous staff, and everything starts with our head coach. I think you look at, and I think I commented on this in the spring, but you know, you want your football team to be a brotherhood. But your football team is always watching the coaches, and you know, if you observe our staff, you know, I think there's a tremendous camaraderie between us. You know, so for me, obviously, every single day as a coach, just like a player, you're always striving to try to get better. And working with such a great group of men, not only just as great coaches, but great people, great human beings, you know, that has made the transition, you know, fairly comfortable. So, you know, for me, I just try to do my job better each and every single day. And you know, like I said, I work with Coach Simmons quite a bit. You know, we live 5 minutes from each other. We carpool probably 95% of the time. So, you know, he certainly means a lot to me, because you know, he kind of took me under his wing when I got here and showed me the ropes of how we do things. And you know, so obviously my relationship with him and the fact that we work closely together, you know, has been a huge benefit and a huge plus, and it's made it a lot of fun from that standpoint.
Has he taken you on any of those fishing excursions?
I haven't been on a fishing excursion yet. I don't think I've fished since I was about 19 years old, so I don't know that I would bring much value to the boat, but I haven't done the fishing, but we certainly do a lot of other things together, you know, off the field.
Who are some of the more vocal leaders in your room? And who
You
would you
know,
like to be more vocal?
Mario is you know, pretty vocal. This is obviously his third year in the system. Mario's got a lot of energy. You know, he's just got a tremendous amount of energy, and a lot of his teammates, not just the other receivers, but a lot of the other players at other positions too, feed off of his energy and his juice. And, you know, he practices really hard every day, and brings it every single day. And then you got Taj. You know, Taj is a little bit more quiet leader. But his attention to detail, the way that Taj approaches each meeting, the notes that he takes. I think our younger guys have learned a lot from him from that standpoint, just the way that he prepares. So we have different leadership styles in our room, but you know, the continuity in there and the chemistry in there is a lot of fun for me to be around, because those guys all really care about each other, and those guys all help each other out. Like I said at the onset, those guys really pour into each other a lot.
How much of your coaching time goes into stressing that to the younger players? Hey, everybody's a leader. You need to, you know, find your role, so to speak, when to speak up.
I think, you know, the biggest message to the young guys is, you know, obviously from the time they get into this program, understanding the standards that we have here, as far as how we practice and how hard that we practice and how much effort we're going to give on every single play, whether it's a pass play, whether it's a run play, whether you're on the backside of a route, whether you're primary, regardless of where you fit into each play, understanding that the effort and the detail that goes into each of those scenarios and how important that is. So, you know, and I think more than anything right now, it's just daily attitude and improvement. You know, what kind of attitude are you bringing in every day, and you know, what steps are we taking to make sure that we improve every single day? Because you don't get a practice back. You only get a certain number of them. When you look at paper, it seems like there's a lot, okay, but they go fast. And we want to make sure we don't waste any days.
How well do you think you've developed as far as learning the playbook and the system and everything for year two for you?
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, certainly from this point last year. You know, last year was my first year in this system with Coach Riley. So certainly feel miles ahead from where I started to where I am now. And obviously, you know, my ultimate goal is to bring value and assist him in all the best ways that I possibly can. And certainly, like a player, we ask our players to improve and get better and be focused on getting better every day. It's the same thing as a coach. Like, at no point as a coach can you ever feel like you woke up and you got it all figured out. And I think that's one thing that this system and the way that we do things, I think there's a reason it's been successful, because, you know, we never just rest on anything. We're always searching for ways to do things better. Even if it's something that we've done well, okay, it's worked, it's been good. What can we do to even make it better? And that's a fun thing, you know, working with Coach Riley is every day it's like, all right, let's just not look at the plays we're running, but how can we make them better? So that part's been a lot of fun for me, learning the system and then just evolving with it.
How important is it to have